Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today, ink comparison day. Thought I'd take a look at a couple of inks that I don't use as often as I should. The first one is by De Atramentis. This is Cherry. This is a scented ink. Got a lovely cherry smell to it. Lovely cherries there on the front. That's going to be compared against Pelikan Edelstein Garnet. So two unusual reds. So I thought they'd be nice to compare against each other. So join me now. Down on the table, we'll take a look at the bottles, look at my swatch card, look at the chromatography, do a writing sample, then I'll give you my thoughts on these inks. Welcome down to the table. So today's inks, we've got Pelikan Edelstein Garnet and we've got De Atramentis Cherry. A couple of like reddish inks, I would really describe them. I do like the look there on the cherry, and with this cherry ink it's scented, so when you open a bottle you get this waft of cherry coming into your face. Really nice. I really like that. Nice bottles as well, very different bottles, aren't they? The Edelstein, this is a really solid bottle. It seems to be, I would say, most of the bottle is glass, so very little of it is ink. Stands really well. It's got a nice wide opening. The De Atramentis Cherry, that's more of a cylinder. I do like the little bit there. We've got the bottoms, we've got a nice wide base, we've got that base echoed here to keep it looking symmetrical. And again, a nice wide opening. Let's move them out of the way for now. We'll fetch in the swatch cards. So we've got Pelikan Edelstein Garnet at the top, and we have De Atramentis Cherry there at the bottom. Very different colours when you look at them. We've got a more red here with a garnet. Does remind me of a garnet if you see a garnet in jewellery. Yeah, very, very similar. The De Atramentis Cherry, to me, it's darker than what I would expect for a cherry colour. I would expect it to be a bit redder, but it's still nice. It's a nice dark colour and it looks nice in a fine nib. If we turn over, we'll look at the chromatographies. So both of them have got this grey band at the bottom. Then as we go up with the garnet, we come into more like what I would call like a pale lobster pink. We've got a fringe of yellow. Then we go into a darker red. With the De Atramentis, we're going more from the grey into paler greys. So the pale grey seems to go up quite a bit further. Then we're going into pale pinks. I would say it's more of a pink than that lobster pink I was seeing there on the garnet. Then we go into some paler reds. And at the very top, we've got this fringe here of purple. Quite interesting. I'd say 9 times out of 10, I don't know what chromatography tells you, but I just think they look pretty. Let's move those out of the way. We'll fetch in the notepad of testing. So here we've got the notepad of testing. This is Oxford Optic paper, 90 GSM paper. Very nice fountain pen friendly paper. My pen that I'm going to be using is my Serendipity dip pen. So we'll start with the Edelstein Garnet. So as I say, this has got a nice wide opening. There's the pen, so you can hopefully see that in comparison. Just move that to one side. I'm going to dip the nib, and then as usual, I'll scribble off, and then we start to write. So we've got here Pelikan Edelstein Garnet. The price for this was 34 Aussie dollars. That's for 50 millilitres, which means it costs 68 cents per millilitre, and that's Aussie cents. The pen, as we've said, is the Serendipity. Can't spell it today. Dip pen. Let's write our sentence. And then we do our scribble test. The ink comes off the nib really easy, nice flowing ink. Goes down, gives this gorgeous colour. Don't see much in the way of shading or anything like that. Didn't expect to. But yeah, it's quite a nice red ink. Up next, Just going to move the paper up a little bit. We get the whole of it on there. Up next, we've got the Diatramentis cherry. Slightly smaller opening. Let me just pop that down. But still wide enough to get most of my fountain pens in. Move that to one side. We do exactly the same. Oh, I'm getting this lovely scent now with the cherries. So we've got here Diatramentis cherry. There's loads of different inks in this range with all sorts of different flavours. The price for this is $19 for 45 millilitres, which means that the price is 42 cents per millilitre. Again, that's Aussie cents. Let's write our sentence. Again, a very nice flowing ink. Then our flow test. Just coming off this pen so well. So that was Diatramentis cherry. I'll move this over to one side to give it a chance to dry. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Whilst it's drying, we'll fetch in my Galen leather notebook. This is 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I've got these in different pens for testing, but they'll give you an idea. So the Pelikan Edelstein Garnet, you know, this was in a TWSBI VAX 700R, so it's a broad nib. I love the pen. I love the way it looked. And this actually came out quite nice in it. It's, as I've said down here, it's red, but it's tending a little bit towards the pink, which you can see really well on this paper. But yeah, very nice. Flows really well. Let's jump back in time to when I wrote with the cherry. So I wrote with... That's not the right one. So after a little bit of a search, I don't know how I managed it, but I got the wrong page for the Diatramentis cherry. Here we've got a Diatramentis cherry. This one's in a Pilot Prera with a medium nib. Japanese nib, so it is quite a fine nib. You can see here it's a lot darker. I actually prefer this over the Edelstein Garnet. I think it's a nice dark ink. Once it's down on paper, once it's dried, it loses that scent, so it's no longer scented. But it's nice to have that scent when it's there. The ink really, I say in here, it's the beauty of a demonstrator, especially when you've got these demonstrator pens. Here's one I've just got to hand. This is a TWSBI VAX 700R. Yes, there's no ink in it, but you can see the ink flowing in there. And you could do that with the Prera. The ink looks very nice when it's in a demonstrator. On the page, again, very nice. And I do see some little bits of shading coming through with this. Let me just try and show you these side by side. There you go. So here we can actually see a lot of difference in the colours. And I'm seeing a little bit more shading coming through here in that Edelstein Garnet. Let's move this book out of the way. We'll fetch back in the notepad of testing. See if I can get both of these on the page. There we go. So we've got the Pelikan Edelstein Garnet at the top. We've got the Diatramentis cherry at the bottom. I like both these inks. The Edelstein Garnet, it's just a red to me. I've got other reds that are more my favourite. Whereas with the Diatramentis cherry, really like that. It's got this gorgeous colour to it. It looks very nice. It's got the darkness to it. Looks nice in the finer nibs as well as the wider nibs. And that lovely smell you get when you're using it. So of the two, I would pick the Diatramentis cherry as being my favourite. So these are my quick thoughts on Pelikan Edelstein Garnet and Diatramentis Cherry. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Do you have either of these inks? Which one's your favourite of them? From today's video, if you don't have them, which one do you prefer? Please drop any comments down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.